Back here for our final segment, John Rappaport in the fourth hour, sitting in for Alex at InfoWars. So I want to piggyback on what Mark Dice said in the last hour about Operation Mockingbird and the infiltration and control of the press in America by the CIA and, of course, other intelligence agency players. All the stories that I've been running down for you here and connecting the dots. Major media has an obligation not to connect the dots. That's part of Operation Mockingbird, too. What not to do, what not to report, what not to say, what connection not to make, what story to bury, what story to publish once and never follow up on it again. As a reporter for the last 35 years, and having talked to many mainstream reporters off the record, I can confirm this without a doubt. Many of them know what's going on. They just don't want to do anything about it because their job is everything to them. That's the level that they think at. I'd lose my job. Yeah, so what? You want to destroy half the population and keep your job? You know, is that your thinking? Well, I don't think that far. No, they don't. That's why many of them are alcoholics. But that is part of their job. They're not going to say, gee, you know, these thousands of small marijuana farms in California, we can't even trace where they all are. And this horrible pesticide, carbofuran, that they used to kill lions with in Africa is bleeding into the soil, into the water, into farms, into the trees, into the plants. We can't even trace it everywhere. We don't know where it is. And the pot that's being shipped out of California, who knows who's going to smoke it and what's going to happen to it? You think they're going to make the connection and say in a major mainstream story, how do these people get here? These Mexican cartel growers. How did they exert influence to hire these low-level workers to run these little farms? You think open borders had anything to do with that? That if we had a much more stringent policy, that we might have been able to head a lot of this off some years ago? And that the government of California, the state government, a series of governors has betrayed the people of California, and that this is where the comeuppance comes from. One of the comeuppances, where the piper has to be paid. Do you think so? No, they're never going to run a story like that. Are you kidding? The Mockingbird operation is also what not to say, what not to do, what not to print, what not to connect. But here, on this program, on this channel, on this website, on these broadcasts, the dots are connected. The dots are connected. The underlying truth does come out. That's what happens here. That's the difference. That's why independent media at its best is growing by leaps and bounds, and while the tired old media is falling down the rat hole. It's been a pleasure. John Rappaport here in the fourth hour. Thank you very much. See you soon.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.